YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here. I'm back with some more online battles. I haven't gotten a chance to play any myself, but I will be playing some. But this is a Bretonnia focus week, so we're going to be watching a lot of battles with Bretonnia. But I'll try and vary up the other faction, obviously, so you all can see Bretonnia in these matchups. We'll talk about what we see in the matchups. And again, all of these will just be part of my Bretonnia focus week. I'm seeing a Blood Knight unit here escorting the Red Duke, which is really cool. Because I think he is a Blood Knight. Anyway, got a main line of Graveguard, just the standard variety. A couple of Crypt Ghouls for some speed. And then back here, it looks like we've got Varrock's Reavers. So there's two Blood Knights, a Reaver, Red Duke, and White King. Looks Alberic on the other side, and look, whoa, these Knights Errant. Now these are not the much feared questing knights, but still, those are shock cavalry there, and they just put a heck of a shock down on that unit. That was brutal. Fire arrows firing, coming in now. Firing arrows firing in. Yeah, nice one there. Nice. The Royal Pegasus Knights, two of them. They're going to hang around up top. Let's see what we got over here. Peasant Mob, Battle Pilgrims, a couple of Foot Squires at the center. The Foot Squires are going to mop the floor with Graveguard, I would think, but we shall see. There's a Damsel, Lore of Life. And then out here, there has been a fight going on between Grail Knights, which I think just tore apart a Crypt Ghoul or something else out there. Here comes Blood Knights into combat. They're getting hit by Royal Pegasus Knights, and holy crap, do they ever get smashed. Some zombies being raised in, and here comes Varrock's Reavers and some Blood Knights to assist. The Red Duke is in pretty rough shape over here. He's going to need some help. That Blood Knight charge, but then there's reinforcing Grail Knights coming from over here. Foot Squires absolutely trashing the standard Graveguard as expected. And then the Knights Errant are still over there. Let's see who's winning this fight. There's healing going on the Bretonnian side, so that's an Earthblood. Undeath Resurgence. Royal Pegasus Knights are being dealt with. There's some Battle Pilgrims nearby that are kind of faltering. I can't really tell who's getting the better of this. The Grail Knights are swinging wide, but in the meantime, the Royal Pegasus Knights get dealt with. Red Duke is still very much alive. I like the raising of the zombies. This is just more hit points that the other units have to deal with, and it distracts their attacks. This is a very good strategy. These Knights Errant now come in as well. But look at this, the zombies breaking the charge of the Grail Knights. Talk about clutch. Huge clutch. Foot Squire's just cleaning house over here. And Alberic's just happy to sit up above the fight. But the fight's not going well for the Bretonnian cavalry. The Knights Errant are starting to waver. Remember, a lot of vampire units cause fear. Now, Grail Knights will be immune to such things, but not every unit is. This was a nice clutch over here by the vampire player, really. Because that was looking pretty bad for him at one moment. And now it's looking very good. Vampires break out. I don't know how much magic they have, but there's possible invocations of Nehek that can bring the vampires back up to extremely strong position. Especially when they get in here and clean up these peasant archers with flaming arrows. There's the Varrock's Reavers. Very sweet looking unit. Black Knights with lances, basically. The Foot Squires getting hit by Blood Knights. I'm not sure the Blood Knights would really want to stay in this fight, because the Foot Squires are anti-armor. Alberic has dived down into this fight. Wow, I can't talk tonight. Archers should go down, so not that many vampires left, but you know, there's all these zombies and stuff they can raise and bring in. This one needs to make its way back over. This is going to be a close fight, it looks like. More zombies coming up here, so this is nice. It's going to kind of pin the Bretonnian units in place. An Invocation of Nehek would be very clutch right now, because Alberic is doing a lot of damage here. Just see what happens. Undeath Resurgent going on right now. So the leadership being bolstered. Alberic is taking big damage. The Red Duke, Blood Knights. And he's going to try and get away. The zombies slow him down. He's being pursued by cavalry, but none of them's getting a hit on him. So Alberic's going to make it back in the air. At least I believe he is. Yep, there he goes. He's made it. Some Knights Errant regrouped, and then there's some Grail Knights over here that are still in somewhat healthy condition. And if this Damsel of Lore of Life can stick around, she could be pretty clutch here. Healing up these Grail Knights would would be a nice play, but I don't know, man. It's looking pretty good for the vampires all of a sudden. Alberic is in bad shape. The damsel's getting hit. He comes in and puts down a pretty savage charge here. Yeah, this is Blood Knights up against Alberic here. This is not going to go well for Alberic, unless he could get healed. He could be healed, and he's got Earthblood going on right now. Somehow the damsel didn't rout, which... But, I mean, Alberic's trapped on the ground now. The cavalry has a clean run at him. It's going to be very hard for him to get away, but he's going to do it. No, he got hit there. As long as the cavalry hits him, he can stay on the... he gets forced to stay on the ground. Oh, the archer's clutching it out there. They're going to get Alberic back into the air. He is lucky. And here's where all those zombies get to be a pretty big pain. Well, I say zombies. These are actually Graveguard. Yeah. The lady's going to wish they were zombies. These Knights Errant, and then there were some Grail Knights. Yeah, here's the Grail Knights. So they've caught up. They're going to actually be pretty tough. And then Alberic has turned around. But he's going to bypass this, it looks like. This is going to be a close fight. The White King has the damsel running scared here. A lot of chivalry in that White King there, folks. But hey, you do what you got to do when you're an undead monster. Alberic dived down in here. So the Red Duke is now trying to clutch it out versus Grail Knights. There's a few Blood Knights left. I haven't seen the magic popping out here for the Red Duke, but maybe I just missed it earlier. He did some Raise the Dead. He definitely has Invocation of Nahak. These units are not at their healing cap. And he's going to lose him to this charge. The Blood Knights are now crumbling too. He must not have any magic, or else I assume that you would see the invocation used. Nice charge into the regrouped men-at-arms. They got destroyed. The White King is in very good shape. Alberic's going to try and probably dive bomb his way out of this, and there's some archers that have regrouped that could be pretty important here. Vampires still have a lot of speed left on the ground, though. If they could keep their Blood Knights or their Varix Reavers, there's a Blood Knight here. Like I said, if they get enough magic to do an Invocation of Nahak, it is going to be game-changing. Alright, let's fast forward and see what happens here. Maybe the Vampire's going to kind of regroup here for a moment. The Bretonnians have regrouped. They do have archers, so it's going to force the Vampires to do something. What is this here? Invocation of Nahak on just the Blood Knights. Yeah, so magic must be short because it's only used on the Blood Knights, not the one with the aura. Yeah, look at that. Blood Knights being resurrected. Did a decent amount of healing to him, and this late in the game, it's a big deal. Ooh, those fire arrows. Ooh. Vampire's not going to want to sit back and take that. There's some battle pilgrims and some foot squires and peasants that have regrouped. Those archers are causing some damage. the Reavers were stuck on the Blood Knights. That was kind of funny. So the peasant mob being used as a meat shield. Alberic dives in. He's probably going to get attacked yet by the white. Well, he's getting attacked by the Red Duke, who got a pretty nice charge there, actually. The archers are still going to sit back and fire, but they're not actually getting any shots at the moment. The Bretonnian infantry is going to be swiftly dealt with. Cycle charging, though. And when you're on a horse like the Red Duke is here, it is a little easier for the cycle charging Griffin-type units to land their charge. At the same time, the bonus versus large. Well, there's Grail Knights in here, too, trying to mop things up. Oh, he takes a Pyrrhic victory, though, so the Vampires did win. Looks like the Bretonnian units routed. That was a fun battle. And let's take a look at the stats here and kind of think about what it tells us between Bretonnia and Vampires here. So again, there's a lot of people who think that just inherently that the Foot Squires and the Grail Knights and all that other stuff will definitely give Bretonnia a win, and here it was not the case. I mean, I like the choice of army from the Bretonnian player here. You've got the right tools, I think. The Pegasus Knights give you some kind of nice dive bombing options there, and you can always protect them with the peasant bows if the vampires have gone into flying. Peasant mob in order to soak up charges. A couple of foot squires, a couple of battle pilgrims. I think the flying Alberic is, expected the damsel of life. All that makes sense. I actually kind of like this army. But then from the vampires' perspective, they went heavy on the cavalry as well, which going up against Bretonnia with heavy cavalry, I mean, maybe that's smart. Maybe it's a smarter way instead of trying to use infantry to fend off all these mobile Bretonnian units fight back. And he had his Red Duke running with the Blood Knights, which did keep them safe. And the Varix Reavers here, I mean, look at the kills on these guys. Very effective unit. Very effective. So, I mean, losing the infantry fight, as one would expect, between the Foot Squires and the Knights Errant helping out. Definitely lost that infantry fight. What do you all think? What do you think about the picks here? I think both picks make sense to me. And I think that either player could have won this, maybe depending on how they manage their units. That's just my opinion. And I think that it shows that as much as I said that I think that the vampires are hard countered by Bretonnia, Small Boss made it work here. And he did a pretty good job of it, I thought. So I found this interesting. Thought it was a fun battle. Hope you all enjoyed it. Like I said, leave your comments. Tell me what you think. I think what this tells us is that you can't write off the vampires as Bretonnia.